What is up YouTube, Jamie the Kid 00 here, and welcome to my first deck profile for Sanctuary Agents. This is a deck that I've actually been quite interested in since Agent of Entropy Uranus was announced in the Duelist Advent, and when I heard that Uranus was going to actually be releasing early in our new special edition for Primal Origin, I was really pleased, because it meant I was going to be able to play the deck a lot earlier. So I managed to get in pretty much everything in a modest to high rarity, and I ended up taking the deck to a small locals this weekend, which I have actually done a few dual recordings from, which will be up all in due time after this recording is posted, in which I used this deck. I went 3-1, it wasn't against amazingly competitive decks, but you can see a duel where I do go toe-to-toe with a Hat. I do eventually lose that duel, but it was a good game nonetheless. It does showcase a few plays. And I'm just going to go through this deck profile and show you guys some of the cool things that you can play in this list. This is by no means my definitive and final list. I'm actually going to be making huge changes to this one. I can't guarantee I will be re-uploading an amended list, but I will be putting up I will be talking about it throughout this video. There's a lot of draw power in this deck that probably needs to go bye-bye in favour of actual cards. So, we're just going to get into the deck profile. This was a first draft that I built Saturday night before the Sunday tournament, so it's not beautiful. But it won a few games, I guess. So we played 2 Agent of Entropy Uranus. This is our brand new guy, and for those of you who don't know what he does, I'm going to read this guy to you. I won't do everyone. If the Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Pretty damn cool. Once per turn, you can send one the Agent monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, this card's level becomes the level of the monster sent to the graveyard by this effect. So that level modulation in and of itself is really cool. You can use 2 of these to make either a rank 5, a rank 3, or a rank 2 Xyz monster, due to what you can send from the deck. If you have 2 of these in hand, you can special summon them both. There's no reason why you can't special summon both at once. And you can modulate both their levels, make an Xyz, and you'll often then have 2 more agents in grave, so that's 4 agents for your Hyperions. Your grave is very, very set up at that stage. So 2 copies of Uranus. 3 copies of Earth. The relevance of Earth and other agents in this deck is also, because we're playing Sanctuary in the Sky, their secondary effects come into account. So as you know, Earth, normally when he's normal summoned, you can search yourself an agent to your hand, but while Sanctuary in the Sky is out, you can actually use him to search Master Hyperion, which is huge. The ability to search your High Priestess or your Dark Arm Dragon is enormous. So, I do love that. 3 copies of the Agent of Creation Venus. You need to keep your agent count up, and of course Venus is a really, really strong opening play, so we love playing Venus. She doesn't gain any effects from Sanctuary in the Sky, sadly, and of course she's going to be accompanied by her 3 copies of Mystical Shineball, the card which I drew multiples of, and you can see it in some of my duels. I believe against Hat I opened game 1 and then 2 game 2. It was horrific, but Mystical Shineball, everyone. Continuing on, I played 3 copies of Master Hyperion. Hyperion, of course, is our boss monster that you just want to get to as soon as possible, and due to Sanctuary in the Sky, you can do so. Also, another benefit of this guy in this deck is because we're playing Sanctuary in the Sky, he can actually destroy 2 cards per turn instead of the normal 1. He can use his destruction effect twice per turn. Continuing through, I'm actually playing 3 copies of Archlord Kristya. Kristya is absolutely insane, but it's really saddening that it doesn't beat the hands. It beats Ice Hand, of course, but if Fire Hand runs into this guy, Fire Hand can kill it, and special summon a new one, because it's not compulsory special summon, which is upsetting. But oh well, I'm actually playing 3 Kristya because I'm playing 3 Trading in this list, so it doesn't clog nearly as much as it may appear to do. Continuing through, I play 3 copies of Zeridas, Herald of Heaven. This is our guy who is going to be used to search your field spell. Long story short, I like this guy over Terraforming simply because of the fact that it adds more fairies in the graveyard for your Kristya count and for your Hyperion destructions. And Soul Charge, if Soul Charge should matter. And then I play 4 more fairies in the form of 1 Gellenduo, 1 Honest, because Honest is crazy, and I only used him twice across the event, and 2 copies of Herald of Orange Light, because Effect Veiler is nothing compared to this guy. So as a monster lineup, it's a fairly heavy monster lineup, and I should note that the entire deck is 42 cards because I couldn't find stuff to cut, but now I know a lot of things that I'm going to cut, so it will drop down to 40 cards. Believe me. Continuing, because this is inconsistent, continuing through to the spells. I played 3 copies of Sanctuary in the Sky, and they all have to be Ancient Sanctuary Super First, because they're absolutely beautiful cards. This is one of my favourite artworks in the game, actually. Absolutely love Sanctuary in the Sky. On its own, it basically does nothing. Its only effect is that the battle damage to the controller of a fairy-type monster from a battle involving that fairy-type monster becomes 0. However, the main reason we play the Sanctuary is because of all the other cards that it backs up and reinforces, most of which were the monsters we've already seen. I then played 3 copies of Cards from the Sky. This was an experiment to draw through the deck a lot faster by removing some of the more dead cards in my hand, while still allowing me to use basic plays like normal summoning, my Agent of Mystery Earths, and things like that. Just making slow plays, setting Gellenduo. Overall, it was a pretty lackluster card, and I would remove it. However, I did use it to get rid of dead shine balls a lot. It was actually really, really good at the locals, because I was using it to remove all the shine balls which I kept drawing. But oh well. I then played Triple Trade-In. Triple Trade-In is a must if you're playing 6 level 8s. I just wanted to have ways to move through my hands if I didn't have ways to summon my boss monsters, because you can get a horrific boss monster clog in this list. Then otherwise the only other spells I played were 2 Soul Charge, because you can filter loads of guys into your graveyard and then special summon them all back. And then 2 Forbidden Lance, mainly for protecting Kristya and Hyperion, but they have other applications too, of course, especially for the Synchro monsters that you can bring out with Uranus. So that is our spell lineup. For the traps, it's fairly simple. I just played 3 copies of Divine Punishment. For those of you who don't know what this does, when you have Sanctuary in the Sky out, this is basically Solemn Judgment, except it doesn't negate summons. And I then played 2 Waboku, because I didn't have room for any other real traps, and you know my real traps rule. If I don't have room for them, I play Wabokus. So that brings me to the end of the main deck. And again, I'm really sorry this is being quick. I was really tired last night, as you can hear in the Mod Ultra deck profile. I have now woken up with a cold and assorted other health ailments, so I kind of need to get this done before I collapse at the camera. Right, let's move into the Synchros. Let's start with the Synchros. The extra deck is actually pretty tight in this. The one thing that I wish I put in was Star Eater, but there are all sorts of other things like Tyrus that should really be in here, so I'd cut some Synchros, depending on what ones you favour and what you don't. So we're going to start off with a 5. 5 is the lowest one we play. I play 1 Armades. I made this a lot. With Earth and Venus, or Uranus and Venus. Armades is just pretty damn good. I play 1 HTS Psyhemuth as the generic 6. I never made him. 1 Ancient Sacred Wyvern, of course because it's the fairy type, but I didn't actually make it, so sadness. 1 Black Rose Dragon, I made this twice. 1 Stardust, never made it. 1 Scrap Dragon, never made it. 1 Beelze, because you can make it, and I did make it, and it got summarily Fiendish Chained, which was really saddening. But Beelze was a card which I did play in the list, I did make, and you can make it quite easily with Uranus and Venus. And then I played 1 Angel of Zero. My theory behind Angel of Zero was this would be really cool to make, throw into shit, have it die, and then later on, because you have such good access to Hyperion in the deck, special summon Hyperion, banish this for Hyperion's effect, and then in the next standby phase have it come back. So it's pretty cool like that, but I never made it. I never got to actually do that play. And I then played 1 Leo, Guardian of the Sacred Tree, sorry, Keeper of the Sacred Tree, which I did make once, which was really, really good. It was really huge. So Leo, and that is the Synchros. Onto the Exceeders. The Exceeders were very simple, and I would put in a lot more in hindsight. I played 1 Gachi, 1 Herald, and 1 Daguste Phoenix. The one thing I was missing really, really heavily yesterday, was Downerd Magician. I miss Downerd Magician so much, so you really need to put one in if you're going to put these in there. Then I played 1 Alucard and 1 Levier as my 3s, because you're going to be banishing a lot, and Alucard is just, in my opinion, one of the best 3s. And then I played 1 Divine Dragonite Felgrand, which I never made, but it was in there for theory. So that brings me to the end of the deck profile, where I've actually kind of, for some reason, kicked the habit of long deck profiles, I think. This is crazy. I know a lot of people hated my long deck profiles, so they're probably having a field day now. But I hope you've enjoyed. I've definitely enjoyed this Herald list. To talk quickly about the things that would probably be worth cutting, I would cut at least 1 Kristya, and then cut the trade-ins and the cards from the sky. Probably cut 1 Zeridas, and I don't know, I kind of want to take out a Venus, but at the same time it's beautiful. And then of course I then cut the Wabokus, and I just change all that I just said to cut out for basically real traps, just effective traps, so that instead of drawing through your deck, you just spend more time actually countering your opponent's plays and stay alive that way rather than trying to speed up your own game. So, yeah, that's about everything I want to talk about. I hope you guys have enjoyed this deck profile, and I will see you guys pretty soon with some duels of this list. Yeah, I'll see you guys pretty soon. This has been JamieTheKid00. Peace out. Bye-bye.